Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue with our chapter Ashoka, the emperor who gave up war. Let's start. Yes, so you know that after Chandragupta's expansion, the Mauryan Empire was huge. You remember Chandragupta was the one who actually took over all other Mahajanapadas, and
Yes,
that is how Patliputra and Magadha became very, very powerful. And then after he defeated Seleucus Nicator, he also took up his territories, and later he added even southern India to his empire, and that is how only Kalinga and bits and parts of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, that is the southernmost tip, was pending. Okay, then Chandragupta's grandson Ashoka even captured Kalinga. So now, except the last part of southern India, even what was Kalinga, the part of Orissa, that was also taken over by his grandson Ashoka. So now the Mauryan Empire had practically spread throughout India, and when we calculated area wise, last time we also saw that it was even bigger than the size of entire India. You remember that? Okay. Yes. So then the Mauryan Empire became even bigger. The Kalinga War was a very bloody war. Ashoka won, but he was very upset as on both sides so many people had died. So Ashoka wanted to expand the empire, and in that he took Kalinga. But once the war was over, when he went on the battlefield to see the scenario there, he was shocked to see. He saw that everywhere there was blood. Bloody war means lot of people got killed there. A lot of people, became handicapped. So basically, lot of bloodshed was there. And looking at that, he felt that what is the use of this victory if I have lost so many of the people? Right after that, he decided that there would be no more wars that he would fight. Ashoka decided he would never kill again. So after looking at the amount of blood that was shed on the battle of Kalinga, on the battlefield of Kalinga, he felt very sorry, he felt very bad, and he thought that never in his lifetime is he going to again enter any war or kill any person. Okay, is this clear? So this bloodshed impacted Ashoka. Now let's see what he did further. Now Ashoka was the only ruler who gave up fighting war after winning a war. Normally what happens? When a king wins a war, he wants to even win more wars in future. He wants to become the most powerful ruler, isn't it? He starts he starts thinking that if this territory I conquered easily, I can conquer few more territories more easily, right? So, but in the history of India, Ashoka was the only ruler who gave up the war after actually winning the war. Which war he had won? Which war he won?
Kalinga War.
Fine. And why did he give up that war? Why did he give up?
Due to bloodshed and damage. What?
Okay, due to bloodshed and damage. Okay. So Ashoka was impressed by the teachings of Buddha. Ashoka spent the rest of his life spreading the message of Buddhism. Ashoka felt it was his duty to teach all these things to the people of his kingdom. Ashoka also tried to spread Buddhism to other countries as well. So Ashoka was so much impressed. Ashoka was so much impressed with the teachings of Buddha that he felt that he should communicate all these teachings, that is non-violence, okay, not to kill anyone, respect, all this he should tell to people, not just his people but also people from other parts of the world. Okay, so what do you think he must have done? What are some of the ways in which you can communicate all this to the people? He can't go and
Then
tell
let,
everything to people, right? he
let
can't
the
he can't go
people
everywhere. Then how do you do it? We had seen in sources
and
of history, you know what are copper plates, right? Yes.
he writed the edict.
Yes, edicts. What are edicts? So in his times, there were lot of things that were happening like this. If you have seen when we did sources of history, there was the chapter called as, primary and secondary sources. So in that you have edicts, that is inscriptions which are carved on stone, and you have copper plates, that means inscriptions which are carved on the copper plates. That is the copper was flattened out into tablet form of thing, and then on that, that was how it was done. Okay, so So based on that, he set up those kind of inscriptions or edicts or copper plates throughout his empire, giving the people idea of what he is expecting from them and what Buddhism um, is actually asking the people to do. So what was it? Let's see. Okay, he carved his messages on stone pillars that you already know. Now, where did people not know how to read? Ashoka asked government officials to read the messages out for them. So, if in any place people were illiterate, they couldn't read, what did he do? He ordered his ministers or his officers that you have to explain all this to the people. Okay? Okay, where people did not know how to read, he asked his government officials or ministers to read the messages for them. Such carvings are called edicts. Now, can you find Ashoka's edicts in many places in India? Okay, see on the map, there are a lot of places that are shown there. Okay, so you will see which are those places. Can you name the places where you will find Ashoka's edicts?
Dilli Topra.
Delhi Topra, Meerut, yes, Koshambi. See here, down the key is given. Square ones are rock edicts, triangular ones are pillar edicts. Did you see that? Yes? You know the Sarnath pillar also, right? Near Delhi. So these are the places where he set up the edicts and how he passed his message of following Buddhism to people. Okay, proceed further. Okay, now what is in the edicts? Okay, what does he want to instruct his people? He wants to instruct his people that be gentle and respectful to all people. Okay, what should they do? People should be gentle and he should be respectful of all his people. Everyone should respect each other, treating all creatures with kindness, not just human beings, but any living creature. Okay, he wanted any living creature to be treated with kindness, respecting other people's religion. That means even if some person is not following Hinduism or Buddhism or some he is into some other religion, you should still respect somebody else's religion. You should not talk ill about their religion. Ashoka spent a lot of kingdom's money to build things for the people. Now, what taxes he collected from the people? He spent it for the welfare of the people. What did he do? He started many hospitals for free medical treatment for people and animals. So, he started many hospitals for medical treatment of humans as well as animals. He did not discriminate between any living creature, humans and animals, same treatment he gave. He also started many factories to create medicines. So he knew that medicines is saving the life of people. Factories, as in, again, don't think that they were like today's factories. But so what all did he do? He started hospitals for in free for people as well as animals, and he also started many factories to create medicines. Yes, Ashoka built many roads and dharmashalas for travelers. You know what are dharmashalas? What are dharmashalas? Have you heard this word?
Yes, dharmashalas are kind of houses, they provide beds and food
Yes, it is
for
like
people who
today's
travel.
modern day lodging facilities, you know. So lodging facilities where people who are traveling, you know, they can stay overnight. Okay. He planted trees on both the sides of the roads to provide shade while traveling. So he did that because for say for the well-being of his people, he thought that people who are traveling should not travel in hot sun. So he planted trees. Okay, then he provided drinking water facilities on road to people, and he also dug many ponds for the kingdom. How will ponds help the kingdom? Who can tell me? How will ponds help the kingdom?
Ma'am, it will provide water for drinking and many other facilities.
Correct. And what other? Anything else that comes to your mind? Okay, for animals, also for irrigation, right? Also for irrigation, correct? Okay, now this everyone knows there is a very famous sculpture on the Ashoka pillar at Sarnath which is near Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh. So that is the lion capital. Last time I already in the textbook I showed you the picture, four-headed lion, right? Which is present on our currency notes, and you all said it is present on some government institutions also. Correct? Remember that four-headed lion? Yes, yes. Next slide. It is the famous lion capital. This is also our national emblem. So you can see it on all government documents, currency notes, passport. I remember everyone had given one or the other of this answer, right? Correct? Remember that? What changed Ashoka's attitude and made him give up war? When he saw the bloodshed at the
Yes,
Kalinga
ma'am.
battlefield, that
It
changed up his attitude. Okay.
attitude.
Name three things that Ashoka did for the welfare of the people. All the previous slides that I showed you, last to three slides.
Point one, Ashoka planted
Hmm.
the trees. Point
Mm-hmm.
two,
Free hospitals for the treatment of animals
and
as well
one.
as human beings. He
Yes.
encouraged factories making medicines. You can write 3 points. Okay.
And
Now,
ma'am, they also made the dharmashalas.
yes, good, good. He planted trees on both sides of the road to provide shade to his travelers. Yes, you can write any 3 points that you feel you can remember in the exam. Okay. You know that the Mauryan Empire was really, really huge. So after Ashoka, they did not have any strong kings. The empire became weaker and weaker. They kept losing territories to other kings, and their empire size started becoming smaller and smaller. So once Ashoka gave up war, actually, his own son also. He made, his son Mahendra, Ashoka's son's name was Mahendra. He told Mahendra also to accept the path of Buddhism, and he sent him and his daughter Sangamitra also to different places to propagate Buddhism. So, what happened? There was no powerful king after Ashoka. So Mauryan territories began to be taken over by somebody else. So in this manner, Mauryan Empire became smaller and smaller in size. It became weaker. So the last Maurya king was Brihadrata. He was murdered by his own commander in chief Pushyamitra Shunga. Okay, so last ruler was Brihadrata, and he was killed by his commander in chief. Commander in chief is the head of his army. Okay, commander in chief Pushyamitra Sunga. So Pushyamitra Sunga then took over the throne and started the Sunga dynasty that ended the Mauryan rule. Okay, so who killed who killed Brihadrata? His commander in chief of his army, that is Pushyamitra Shunga, killed him, and that is how the Mauryan dynasty came to an end, and it was taken over by the Shunga dynasty. So which dynasty ruled before Mauryan? Before Mauryan dynasty?
Nanda
Nanda
dynasty.
dynasty, right? Dhanananda. He defeated Dhanananda. So before Mauryas, there were the Nandas, and after Mauryas, there were the
Sungas.
Sunga.
Shungas. Okay? Yes, good. So when Maurya Empire fell, the Khyber Pass was left unguarded. Khyber Pass is this place from where you can enter India through Afghanistan. Okay? So all this territory once belonged to the Mauryan Empire. So once Mauryan Empire lost its importance, there were no other powerful king. It was left unguarded, and that is how the Greek kings took advantage of this. They captured the area around Pakistan and Afghanistan and established an Indo-Greek kingdom there. They maintained control of that area for about a century. So what did the Greek kings do? Remember, already once Seleucus Nicator was there. So now some other Greek ruler captured those territories, and that is how near that area you have the formation of the Indo-Greek Empire, and which influenced the Indian territory also, and they maintained a control of that area for about a century. So now you know how the Maurya Empire was established, how it expanded, and how it was administered. You also learned about the prominent kings and how it collapsed. Right? So the period of Mauryas was a very peaceful and prosperous time in India. So we Indians are still proud of it, and that is why our national emblem is from the development in the Maurya period. So what can you say? We have seen about Chandragupta Maurya, we have seen about Bindusara, and we have seen about Ashoka. What inspires you? What do you think? Why was it the most prosperous time in India?
Ma'am, because all the kings were strong and very good in establishing their kingdom. They took care of
Yes.
all the people, and
Mm-hmm.
they also made good and right decisions, like having peace and not uh, putting out war in between kingdoms.
Yes, so when Ashoka actually saw the bloodshed, he decided to give up war. Chandragupta Maurya provided strong administration to the people with the help of Chanakya. Okay, so that is why our national emblem, that is the four-headed lion, is taken from the Mauryas, because that reminds us of how great that empire was, how they effectively controlled their people. Yes, do you remember that? Okay. So we have discussed. Any doubt in these questions, you can still ask me and we'll complete. I'll
No, ma'am.
remind, otherwise, we will stop for the day because time is up. Okay.
If you like our videos, do share them and subscribe to our channel. If you want awesome quizzes, write to us. Keep watching and keep learning with Walnut.